You said the word.
Okay, good job.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to call this meeting to order. We have no public comment on the agenda items. So we will move on to other business, the sports medicine contract.
Yep. So as I mentioned to you guys, the Greene County has been great to us in the past with the having athletic trainers and working with them, but they informed me at the end of May or the beginning of June that they would no longer be able to service Bloomfield. So as soon as Nate was hired, I let him know, and he worked through trying to find the best fit for us and somebody that would service us. So he found Shack Mac Rehab, and that's the agreement that I'm asking you guys to vote on and approve.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion, we approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay, the next item is permission to advertise the 2025 budget, capital project fund plan, and bus replacement plan. Anything that you want to discuss on that or not?
No, so
Okay.
with the bus replacement plan, we are in the process of working to purchase a bus from last year's plan that was approved, and it did come in under budget from what we had planned for last year. So Jonas is in that process, but as part of this plan, we'll try and add another bus this coming year. We have a short bus or mini bus that is on its last leg, and so that's what Jonas is currently working to purchase off what was advertised and allowed for the 24 budget. So for 25, this request would allow us to purchase a full bus or a mini bus, and really it's just conversations with Jonas on what the best route is for what we need.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay, and then the next item is we have a fundraiser. We have a request for the baseball team to sell mums. So do I have a motion to approve the fundraiser request?
I make a motion, we approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? And do we have any board member comments and items for future agenda? So I do have something, and I don't know if we need to discuss this in a future meeting or how this works, but I've questioned the fundraisers. Like we used to, when I first got on the board, we approved fundraisers if, I can't even remember, Lana, if you remember when we changed it at some point, and I can't remember if it was, anyway. My personal feeling is when we see fundraisers, either there needs to be better communication about getting the requests in before they get posted, or do we really just I guess my personal feeling is if a coach wants to have a fundraiser to sell mums, then do we really need to approve that before that happens? They're trying to better their program, or is it just something that we can have as informational on the board packet so that we know that it's happening, but do we really need to approve a mum fundraiser or a Haribo fundraiser or a bake sale? Because we've had fundraisers here in the past that the sponsor wasn't able to have because it wasn't approved and they didn't realize it, I guess. So I guess, is it just really that important that the board needs to approve fundraisers and I would like to have that be something that we discuss maybe at our next board meeting, to not have to approve, but just be an informational item, I guess. So.
And what I can tell you, a little bit of history is about 6 years ago, or maybe 7 now, somewhere around that time frame in the past. So maybe when you were you know, right before you're on the board or
Something
at the
changed
start,
right after, I
there
think.
was legislation that required fundraisers to go to the board members at a board meeting. There was confusion across the state with the new legislation on whether it needed to be voted on and approved or just shown to the board. So initially, all schools, or a lot of schools, were going and having the board approve the fundraisers. Then updated Insight, or whatever you want to call it, came out, and so it was explained that schools didn't have to have the board approve it, but it did have to be on the board agendas for informational purposes. But Bloomfield has had the precedent of having the fundraisers approved ahead of time. What I can tell you is, let's say, like you brought up baseball and the mums, the one that we approved tonight. So what happens when Coach Harvey turns in the fundraiser form? It goes to Mr. Dean. If Mr. Dean vets it and doesn't approve it, it stops right there and he lets him know. If Mr. Dean's fine with it, then it comes up to me and I vet it. And I can tell you that there's been, since I've been here, there's been 3 or 4 times that I've sent something back to Mr. Dean and said, hey, I'm not opposed to fundraiser, but X or Y needs to change, you know, because this just
Yeah.
it needs change for whatever the reason is. Then it comes back. And so what I'm saying is, before you guys even see it, Mr. Dean and myself are responsible to vet those. So if you look at a fundraiser form right now, it has like principal approval, superintendent approval, and then when the board approves it. But from a legal standpoint, the board doesn't have to approve it. It just has to be shown to the board. And my own personal feeling, going with what you're saying, is we have the ability to hire a teacher and have that teacher start and be shown up at the next board meeting and have the retroactive vote to have that person start. But we can't do it for, like you said,
Yeah,
a month fundraiser. So I would be willing to change it if the board as a whole is fine with making that change. So if you want to, you know,
I would like that to be something that we discuss and vote on at our next meeting. If that's, I mean,
we'll
Yeah.
add it to the agenda.
okay.
right.
That's all I have. Anybody else have anything? No. All right, so this meeting, I guess I need future meetings. Future meeting, regular school board meetings, August 29th and September 26th at 6 p.m. in the media center. And this meeting is adjourned.